Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the 12-week series entitled, what am I about to do? Yes, I'm going to sing it. The Method to the Magic. Yes, so thank you all for joining me on this 12-week journey as I had shared with you all a couple of days ago. I had 2 or 3 days ago. I decided, just based on the overwhelming response that I have received to my book, The Method to the Magic, I decided it would be really fun to just take take a journey to talk with you through and share with you some of my real-time lessons learned through each of the lessons in my book. There are 12 lessons in the book, hence the reason this is a 12-week series. So what we're going to do is just a quick overview reminder that every week for about 15 minutes tops, 10-15 minutes tops, I'm just going to take one of the lessons, focus on one lesson each week in my book, and just talk to you all about it, and just share with you, give you a little more, invite you into my think tank for a little bit to just share with you how, what inspired the lessons, some of the lessons that I learned in real time, and hope that, because what I would hope that you do, or I'm hopeful that you will do, and this was actually something that someone, a good friend, had suggested, that it would be a really great model to just take each lesson and just absorb it, understand it, and then apply it to your day-to-day life, just one lesson at a time. And I wrote the book, but I still use these lessons. They help me so much just in my regular life, just my day-to-day life now. Like, I will check myself against them. And I was like, wait a minute. Nah, I'm not going to do that, And so I'm hoping that just sharing this opportunity, this time with you, that it will invite you to do the same, because I'm hopeful that it will. Out of all the feedback that I have received about my book, the one statement that just really, one of the most powerful statements that was made to me was, and a friend of mine, he said the book is, I don't want to say it wrong, incontrovertible was the word that he used. And so when he said that word, I was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that word means. So I'm like, what does that word mean? Incontrovertible. And when explained it to me, and I have dictionary descriptions here for certain words I'm going to use so that you guys don't think I'm making this stuff up. So the definition of incontrovertible is not able to be denied or disputed. And so when he made that statement to me, I thought, oh my God, that's really? And I thought that was a really great thing. So I wanted to share that all with you. So because I didn't say it, someone else said it. Okay. And I just really, really appreciated it. And it just inspired me to take my good enough and turn it to great, just based on that one statement, that very powerful statement that resonated with me, right? So now, whenever I made the introduction and said that I was going to do this 12-week series, I gave you all an opportunity to pick the lesson that I would discuss on the first day. You guys didn't do it, so I chose my own lesson. And I am going to start with lesson number 1 in my book, which is trust yourself to be the expert, right? And I want to just explain to you, just give you a little background in terms of how I arrived at this lesson. So, because when you think about the word, first of all, what does it mean to be an expert? What does it mean? Definition of the word expert is a person who has a comprehensive, gotta listen to the words, comprehensive and authoritative knowledge of or skill in a particular area. So that, my screen is moving. That's what it means to be, and that's the definition of expert, right? So now, okay, so there's two big words within that one little word, which are comprehensive and authoritative. So when you think about comprehensive, well, what does that mean? Comprehensive. Comprehensive is complete, including all or nearly all elements or aspects of something. Okay. Then you got authoritative. So then, okay, what is authoritative, right? Authoritative, able to be trusted as being accurate or true or and reliable, right? So when you think about the fact that these are the words that, these are that's what the word, that's what it means to be an expert. That means that if someone is an expert in something, they must know what they're talking about, right? Because, and I tell you guys, like, I know a little about some things, but I don't know everything about everything, right? But as I say in my book, what I know. I know what I know, right? And what happens is that, and I use in my book, I use an example about when my daughter was only 6 weeks old, a family member made a recommendation to me about something to do for her. And I thought, I don't think I should do that. Like, it just didn't settle right with me. And so when I spoke with her pediatrician about it, he gave me that whole, like, they told you to do what? Like, and so I said, okay, so I'm not crazy. Right? I mean, I didn't think I was, but let me check the medical professional who is an expert, right? And I said to you all, as stated in this book, how when that happened, he said to me that, he said, as a new mom, because, my daughter is an only child intentionally. Those who were with me through the pregnancy journey are probably really glad I never had another one. Her pediatrician said, I don't think you should have any more kids. It was awful. I was terrible. Terrible. I was awful pregnant. But my doctor, her pediatrician made a statement to me where he said, as a new mom, he said, you are going to people are always going to be giving you advice and giving you suggestions and telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And they're going to do that all the time. And but when you became pregnant with her, he said, God gave you something that that only you have. And it's called, and for your child, and it's called a mother's intuition. You're the only person that has the mother's. Yeah, other people have mother's intuitions, but that's for their kids, not your child. And he said, so you're going to get that all the time. He said, so if it doesn't feel right to you, then it's not right for you. So just don't do it. And he even said to himself, he said, even me, like, yes, I'm a medical doctor and I have all this training and everything, but I'm not her mother. I'm not her parent. Like, you have to trust yourself. And so when I use that example in my book because I feel that what happens so often, you guys, is that people will just, and I don't know, it's like, I make a statement where I do not routinely invite other people to have opinions about the things that I do in my life. I really don't. I was not always here, but I did finally arrive because we're just conditioned to get double checking. Well, let me ask somebody. Well, this feels right to me, but let me ask somebody. Let me get somebody's opinion. And then it's like, but the only person that has to live with the decision that you make is you. And so that works in both your professional and your personal life because you have, it's in your personal life, we get these conditions where it's like, we're always asking people and checking people. It's like, but at some point you've got to just trust that what you know and own what you know and be very confident. Get you some big girl, big boy swag about you and just own your stuff and be an expert in it unapologetically. And even in the professional world, this is where I struggled with it personally a lot because I came from this world, this culture of, okay, well, get a second opinion, check with this person, and you should get somebody else to check it. And, never allowed to just trust. You would never give him permission to trust yourself. It was, never. Yeah, it was, you got to check. You need to check this person. You should get somebody else to check it. And then the person with whom you're oftentimes checking about something that you feel pretty doggone good about anyway, they don't know. It's just, so now you're going to trust the opinion of someone who doesn't feel what you feel and know what you, but that doesn't make any doggone sense. It's crazy. And it's a very dangerous cycle and web to get into if you do that. And I'm telling you, you have to just eventually just trust yourself. And the more you do it, let me tell you something. The more you do it and the more confident you come in trusting yourself and just knowing that you know what you know and that you're not crazy, the easier it becomes. I'm telling you. Because just this week, I had to, like, and I would actually have to respond to people and say that. It's like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing. And that I don't know anything about that, but this, I know this, and then what'll happen is that people, say like, well, in my opinion, you should do this. In my opinion, it's like, but I didn't ask your opinion. So, you keep that. I didn't ask your opinion. And what I will do sometimes is I'll share things with people just to, just more as like a sounding board and just to kind of have somebody to think out loud to. But it's not because I'm trying to get anybody to change what I've already feel like I know. I just want to talk it out loud to someone. And you have to be careful with that too, because some people, when you do that, they think you have to be very, very careful about how you communicate with people, both in your personal life and in your professional life. And at some point, you just got to just boss up and just say, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. And the best way to do that, it starts with you. You have to trust yourself to be the expert and own your stuff unapologetically. And when you do that, because see that once again, that's getting rid of the box. When my book is about lessons learned and eliminating that ridiculous think outside the box. I wouldn't know I wish I could think of who created that, because we should probably beat them up or something. Think outside the box. It's like, just get rid of the doggone box. Ain't nobody got time to be thinking outside of boxes and everything. So I don't want to be in my box. I don't want to be in your box either. But that's that box mentality where I have to check that's in the box. Well, you're supposed to. I can give you examples about how whenever I would be, I can tell you right now, and anyone who is watching this who happens to be like someone who was a former direct report of mine will tell you, I've never made a bad hiring decision, ever. When I was in management positions, because I would trust myself. And I said, I feel really good. Well, I'm going to scratch that. I made one. I did make one. And so, one in my 25-year journey, I made one bad hiring decision. But hey, you can't get it right all the time. But for the most part, it was like, if I felt good about someone, it's just, it worked. But but that's like destroying that myth. Think outside the box, think outside. Just get rid of the doggone box. Trust yourself to be the expert. Know that you know what you know. But the first person that has to believe and trust you is you. Everyone else will just get in where they fit in. So what I would challenge you to do this week is just to assess that. Think about your life. Think about what you're doing in every area, both in your personal life and your professional life and everything. It's just think about what you do. And sometimes, you have to respect authority. We do. But you can do it in a way that even just respects. You can do it in a way that's not disrespectful. You can. You can. If it's like, but I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And you have to be very comfortable that you do. And the more you do it, honey, let me tell you something. It gets better with time. It really does. So try that this week. So that's today. We're talking about the getting rid of the box and everything. It starts with trusting yourself to be the expert. Okay. So I see you guys next week. I don't know what the lesson next week will be. As I said, I'm not going in order. I know those who think they know me. They're like, oh, next week will be lesson 2. I can tell you right now, it's not lesson 2. I already know that. It's not lesson 2, but I'm not going to tell you which one it is. You have to show up next week to find out what it is. And so, and you know what, you guys do? This is going to be a little over 15 minutes because I have something that I want to share with you. Do hit like and hit share and subscribe to this channel if you like it, or any channel, because I'm going to tell you something about the YouTube business and the way it works. And I don't mind telling you because it's not a secret. It's on their website. It's not, I'm not signing any, I didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement with YouTube. But what happens is that I never understood it about how when people would say hit subscribe and hit like and hit share, I never understood that. But because what happens is that YouTube has these like levels, and they only give you permission to do certain things based on the number of subscribers that you have. Like, for example, like this video, even though I had intended for it to be live, because of the fact that I did not have the threshold in terms of the number of subscribers, I could go live, but I could not go live on mobile devices. I could only do it from a computer, so those little things like that. So once I get a certain number of subscribers, I have more freedom and more flexibility, functionality within the YouTube platform. And so that's where it helps. It really helps the person build. And you don't have to, you turn the notifications off. You don't have to have your phone going off dinging saying this person's on everything, because I don't have mine on. I like the subscription process, so that because I spend a lot of time on YouTube, so whenever I'm on YouTube, I appreciate that whenever I go, the channels to which I have subscribed, I see them first. And that's what I like. I see those notifications first. Same thing with Facebook. I have my notifications turned off on Facebook. I don't want to have my phone. I don't like stuff dinging and going off all the time. But what I like about with the Facebook is that people who I follow and who I want to see first, they appear in my notifications. And I don't get when I log into Facebook, I see them in the notifications and I see their stuff first. That's why if you're one of my friends on Facebook and you're watching this and I never like or share your stuff, it's probably because I just never see it. It's not because I'm not on Facebook. So those are things to just keep in mind. So just so if you guys want to help me, just take my good enough and be my partner in the taking my good enough and turning it to great. Please subscribe to my channel and like and share my videos, and then I'll see you next time. And this will be up. All right. Thank you guys for joining me and taking a walk on this method to the magic train.